Hang on.
To get a ticket, which would suck.
I want to do a little checklist here. You'd let Usain Bolt compete as a sprinter in the American women's Olympic team?
Yes.
Okay. You would let Floyd Mayweather compete as a boxer in the women's American boxing team?
Yeah,
you
of
are
course
a
you have to be
complete
like the
and utter
heavyweight.
lunatic.
I completely agree I agree with Francesca, and I go
They
further.
would have
Piers,
to transition.
Sometimes I run out of words to say. I really do. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's another video, which means, yep, you've guessed it, another day of losing brain cells together. Don't say I don't do anything for you. We're going to be reacting to this fiery debate that just took place on Piers Morgan Uncensored, and this comes after the viral story involving a male athlete, Aidan Gallagher, who was booed after crossing the finish line and winning the state title in the girls' 200-meter race. But not only that, he was also booed when being announced as the winner on the podium. So this is showing more and more people have finally had enough of this issue, and on Piers Morgan's show they discussed the story, the whole idea of men competing in women's sports, and as usual the woke liberals who are all for women and girls having their sports eroded get put in their place. Honestly, you're about to see Esther and Piers Morgan go off. It's great to see. Get ready for this one. But before we get into it, as always, if you could, make sure to leave a like rating, as it really helps out the video, helps it get pushed out in the algorithm. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. 70k is on the horizon. Turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video. Comment on this video, share this video, follow my socials down below in the description. But now that's out the way, buckle up, and let's get into it.
Listen, I think we need to stop talking about biological men competing against biological women in women's sports. This is a trans person, a trans woman competing against actual women. Stop dismissing women by calling us biological women. We are just women, so I want to put that out there first.
Yeah, I agree.
Why are we constantly, and when I say we, why is popular culture constantly asserting that trans people, their feelings, their emotions, their inclusion is more important than the majority of women who just want to have fairness, want to compete, want to have achievements, accomplishments, and opportunities? Why do their feelings matter more than the feelings of the women that they're competing against? It's ridiculous. We keep coddling and kowtowing to this madness. I hope we're seeing the end of it, and I think within the next couple of years we will.
Yeah, I mean, I'm amazed that every woman, frankly, doesn't agree with you.
Exactly.
Because the unfairness and inequality is so obvious. But Francesca, I can see you actually going berserk here with indignation. So presumably you don't agree.
I mean, please don't speak for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, either of you, please don't speak for me. Please don't speak for all women. Just let's get that out of the way right now, because I do disagree. I think about, what if your 12-year-old kid was Aiden? Wouldn't that be incredible? Wouldn't you be proud of Aiden?
No.
And how much would it...
No. Absolutely not.
Hold on, is she trying to say that if this athlete was your child, you would be proud of them going into girls' sports and winning, competing in the female category when he shouldn't be there in the first place?
What?
There is nothing to be proud about there. There is no sense of achievement in that. How can anybody be proud of something like that? And I'm so happy Piers Morgan came in straight away. I was like, no, cut her off, said no, because we shouldn't be entertaining that whatsoever. We know it shouldn't be happening, and to sit there and say, oh, would you not be proud? This is a woman trying to make that point. Ah, man, it just shows you the issues we got.
Unless that child had not even reached puberty, and in the case of my daughter, for example, and someone is trying to convince her that if you just put your hand up and say that you're a boy, you can suddenly compete against a different biological sex. I'd say it's all madness.
Piers, this is what's crazy about it. Do you think that that's what's driving trans women to compete as athletes, is that they're like, if I transition to become a woman, I can win a gold medal in a high school track and meet competition.
Well, no, hang on, Francesca. I don't care.
That is so absurd to me. It's the same thing. Hang on, let me speak.
I don't care. The reality is they're doing it, right? And the point is that, to me, the answer is obvious.
They're not doing it to win a medal. They're doing it because that is their identity.
But they're winning medals at the expense of actual women who can't compete with them physically.
Okay.
It's why we separate the sexes.
You know what? Like, I actually Googled this.
Hang on. I'll come to you too.
I'm embarrassed to be a woman when I see women freaking out about trans women winning one out of so many competitions.
It's not just one.
Okay.
It's happening in swimming with Leah Thomas.
Hang on.
It's happening in all sorts of sports.
Yes, because it makes us look really pathetic.
Wow. Oh my word. This is a big reason why this madness is allowed to go on, because you have women like this who advocate for boys, men going into girls, women's sports, and even their safe spaces. Just because you don't understand it, just because you can't comprehend why it's so wrong, because, you know, you're lacking that little bit of common sense that you clearly need, doesn't mean that women are all of these things you're trying to say. Women don't deserve to play a sport that they've sacrificed so much for, only for a guy to come in and win everything. These people are so delusional. And also for her to say to win one medal, trying to make it look like it's a, you know, a rare occurrence when it's happening every single week, multiple occasions. This is what they try and do. They try and make it look like it's not really a thing. People are exaggerating. No, it's happening and it needs to stop.
You know what I actually want to talk about when it comes to women's sports? Why is Caitlin Clark being paid 80 times less than her counterpart entering the NBA?
Well, that's quite straightforward too.
The equal pay conversation within sports is completely ridiculous because it could never happen. More people tune in to male sports, and when you have more people watching, more money gets generated. If you want female athletes to be paid the same as male athletes, you will bankrupt organizations. It doesn't make sense.
Just because trans people are not identifying as trans to basically erode women's sports, that makes it okay. That's exactly what they're doing. This is
you think that's what they're doing?
Let
me finish. You know what the issue is. 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 They are useful idiots like you that are validating ascientific nonsense. There's no such thing as gender identity. Being trans identifying is a mental illness, a reality that exists only in your head, should not be validated, and specifically not at the expense of people that are just going about their business trying to win sporting tournaments or trying to use
There's
a loo.
useful idiots like you that are leading to the of trans people, because guaranteed
then you can basically go to an island where all women think like you, and you can compete with all the biological men you want, but do not impose your backward views on the rest of us and have the audacity to call us regressive.
Okay, Francesca, you respond. I'll come to James.
My response is this: look, I care more about human life and people actually. I care about the right to privacy. I care about people surviving and living in this world.
So she cares about privacy, but what about women's safe spaces, you know, locker rooms, changing rooms, bathrooms, having men in there making women feel uncomfortable, unsafe? I love that. Where did Piers Morgan find this woman?
Yes, I do.
You don't seem to care about the right to privacy of biological women not wanting to share their spaces with biological men. What about them?
What about the number of trans youth who
here we go.
every single year?
This woman on the right is doing something that is very common with the woke activists. When they have nothing else to say, when they have nothing else to add, and they know they're getting smoked in the debate, they'll go for the emotional guilt trips. But you should not be emotionally guilt tripped into silence because you have women like this coming out with that sort of rhetoric. That's what they do. It's an attempt to silence people. And people shouldn't be silenced on this issue.
Biological women not wanting to share a bathroom with a biological man. Talk about that. Don't do what about, answer that question. What about them? Do they not matter?
Look, lady, you can go into every bathroom and pick a fight with every person who you think is in the bathroom. That's your prerogative.
If a man goes into a bathroom with my daughter,
a teenager,
what should I do?
A teenager being booed. Guys, let's not bully, okay? I believe it was Melania Trump who said, "Be best," and we know what bullying leads to. Stephen Miller,
you know what
bullying. Okay, but Francesca, I'm going to come to James, but because to me there's conflating two issues. You can absolutely support trans rights to fairness and equality, as I do and consistently have, but you can also see that there is obviously a massive problem now. Increasing now in women's sport, and there's a reason, and we've had this conversation, James, but
I don't know why they're shaking their heads.
There's a reason we separate sexes in the Olympics, in the World Championships, because otherwise women would never win anything.
Look, I think
so. That's why we do it. It's not because women aren't great athletes.
Women would never win
They're great athletes when competing against people physically born like them.
Listen, I have so much to say. I want to explode. Firstly, Esther, you're the only thing making anyone angry or incensed right now. So you're causing me a mental health issue. So really, if there's a mental illness, it's actually you. I would like to take a pill.
You could all be mentally unwell together.
She clapped back there. He wasn't expecting that. But are you trying to say people are angry and upset here because Esther is speaking the truth? Is it hurting your feelings a little bit? Is that what you're trying to say? Well, there is a common phrase that goes around these days, and that is facts don't care about your feelings. The quicker you learn about that, probably the better.
Your guests here, I mean, talk about the snake eating its own tail. They're sitting there talking about trans rights and affirming transgender ideology, but then they're saying that Caitlyn Jenner, who is probably the most famous trans person, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
Because Caitlyn Jenner is not only a Republican, but Caitlyn Jenner also calls out biological men competing in women's sports. So your guests sit here and they cry boo-hoo tears about trans rights, but then they dismiss Caitlyn Jenner. It's amazing. These are also the same people who claim to be feminists, but also don't care about actual women being robbed of opportunities.
Yeah.
That's why liberalism is a disease, and you can just let these people talk and they argue with themselves, Piers.
This is the point I make so often, right? You have these feminists, these woke liberal feminists who will sit there every single day complaining about men and how we're ruining the world. White straight men are the worst thing on the planet, the patriarchy, etc., etc. We stand for women's rights. Yet when it comes to this issue, what happens? Oh, a lot of them advocate for it. No, you cannot disagree with this. This makes you a bigot, whatever else. The women who advocate for men going into women's sports, safe spaces, locker rooms, even some of them advocate for them going into prisons. These women who support that do not care about women. Plain and simple.
The point is, if Aidan Gallagher competed according to their biological sex, they would not be succeeding. They wouldn't be winning state championships. They would actually not even be qualifying for the finals. That is the point everyone's missing. Is that actually...
Why do you care about
women's integrity, women's sport?
But you don't. Have you done a segment on Caitlin Clark and pay disparity? Have you done a where were you when the U.S. women's national team?
He doesn't need to.
You have no idea.
Shut up, Esther.
Well, hang on, Francesca, you have no idea actually.
Shut up.
You have no idea what I've said about women's pay.
What about when the women's national team wins in the United States, right? They've won like 4 times at this point. And what happens? Oh, Megan Rapinoe, who is both a lesbian and also like one time knelt during the national anthem. She's not a real patriot. They freak out. Donald Trump tweets about her.
No, you're missing Megan Rapinoe. Megan Rapinoe is a very, very good football player, but also incredibly irritating. And I noticed that when she retired, it was only then she said that she wanted trans women to be playing in the American women's national team. In other words, when it wasn't possible for that person to take her position. Because here's a scenario for you. Lionel Messi puts his hand up and says, actually, I'm feeling like a woman today. Do you play him in the American women's national team, Francesca? Yes or no?
Lionel Messi had to undergo an incredible...
Yes or no?
He had to undergo an incredible amount of treatment when he was young. He had a bunch of like.
Would you allow him to put his hand up, say he's a woman, and play in the American women's national team?
He had a growth spurt. I'm a big Messi fan, but let me just explain this.
Answer my question. Would you allow him, if he said, I'm a woman, to play in the American women's national team?
You're using the wrong pronoun
Yes, right now. Hell yeah, are you kidding me?
Wow.
Messi on the U.S. women's national team? Hell yeah.
Would you allow Usain Bolt to do that and be in the sprinting team?
Yes, because that would mean they're a trans woman. They identify as women.
I get it. So just to be clear, you'd let Lionel Messi play in the women's national football team and destroy women's football forever. You'd let Usain Bolt...
it'd be very difficult to get a ticket, which would suck.
I want to do a little checklist here. You'd let Usain Bolt compete as a sprinter in the American women's Olympic team?
Yes.
Okay. You would let Floyd Mayweather compete as a boxer in the women's American boxing team?
Yeah,
you are a
you have to be
complete
like the
and utter
heavyweight.
lunatic.
I completely agree with Francesca. I agree with Francesca, and I'd go further.
They would have to transition.
Sometimes I run out of words to say. I really do. I don't know if this woman is either trolling, she's trying to make people angry on purpose, trying to be funny, or she's straight delusional, or as Piers Morgan says, she's a lunatic. But the fact we have a grown woman like this, who should know better, right? But the fact we have a grown woman like this coming out with this sort of rhetoric, it's insanity. And she's not in the minority. You know, there are a lot of women, these liberal feminists, who agree with what she's saying. The amount of brain cells I've lost listening to this crap, I don't even know how to quantify it, if I'm going to be honest. I hope you haven't lost too many, because I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. What are your thoughts on what you just saw? Esther, Piers Morgan went off. Put them in their place, as I said. And I love to see it, and we need to see more of it. Leave your thoughts down below, ladies and gentlemen, on everything you saw. If you have enjoyed, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video. Share this video, but until next time, it has been your boy JD. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'm out. Peace. Man. Oh. I don't know how much longer I can do this.